Um, you know, there's a tendency in our hearts to believe that greatness is something you can point to, like a monument, a statue, a single achievement. If we're honest with ourselves, though, the story of America's greatness has never been so simple. It isn't found in slogans or campaign promises, and it isn't measured solely by wealth or power. Most people overlook this. But the real test of a nation isn't the comfort it affords its strongest, it's how it navigates fear, division, and uncertainty, how it summons courage when the road ahead is unclear. And that, that is the question we face now. Can a country fractured along lines of identity, ideology, and technology still find the moral courage to come together to pursue the hard work of shared purpose without losing sight of justice? Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss this channel mention where you are watching from in the comments. To understand that question, we have to look at the arc of our recent history. The years following 2016 were marked by turbulence. The economy was transforming, automation was reshaping jobs, inequality was widening, and the social fabric seemed increasingly frayed. We found ourselves confronted not only with technological disruption, but with a deeper, more human challenge: how to maintain empathy, responsibility, and a sense of civic duty when so much else seemed to push us apart. There were voices calling for nostalgia, for a return to a past that never really existed for everyone. And yet, there were also quiet, persistent reminders that progress was not a relic, but a choice, a deliberate act of investing in education, in health, in climate, in the institutions that knit us together. Every generation faces its own trials. Ours was no exception, and the moral test was clear. Could we act not merely out of fear, but with courage and conviction for the common good? When I reflect on my own path, I think about the days I spent organizing in Chicago's neighborhoods, knocking on doors, sitting in community centers, listening to people's hopes and frustrations. I saw firsthand that the work of bringing people together across lines of race, class, and ideology is slow and often frustrating. In the Oval Office, you learn quickly that leadership is not about grand gestures, but about patient, persistent effort, balancing ideals with the realities of governance. And yes, there were moments of doubt when the divisions in our politics and society seemed insurmountable. But I also saw the extraordinary power of ordinary people choosing to act, to care, to build bridges rather than walls. It taught me that greatness isn't something a leader imposes, it's something we cultivate collectively, generation after generation. It's messy, it's imperfect, and it requires humility, a recognition that hope, if it is to be meaningful, is always tethered to action. And that is what this moment calls for: reflection on the deeper lessons of our civic life. What does it say about human nature that we so often swing between fear and hope, between suspicion and empathy? That the strength of democracy lies not in uniformity, but in the messy, sometimes discordant symphony of diverse voices? We are reminded that the arc of the moral universe bends toward justice, but only because we bend it. The paradox is that real progress demands both patience and urgency, understanding that we cannot force history to move faster than it will, yet refusing to accept passivity when action is required. Leadership, true leadership, is the courage to act even when outcomes are uncertain, the discipline to listen even when it is uncomfortable, and the moral clarity to place the common good above narrow advantage. So as we consider what it means to make America great again, I ask myself, and I ask all of us, what kind of greatness we are seeking. Is it the fleeting triumph of comfort and nostalgia, or the deeper, more enduring triumph of justice, responsibility, and unity? Can we summon the courage to face the divisions of our time with empathy rather than anger, to work for a society where every voice matters and every citizen shares in the stakes? And finally, do we have the humility to recognize that the task is never finished? that the arc of progress is long and often arduous, but that the commitment to bend it toward justice is a responsibility we all share. These are not questions with easy answers, but they are questions worth holding close, because in grappling with them, we come to understand not only what America can be, but what we must become together.